So obviously yesterday the internet was all abuzz with this talk of Xbox Scarlet Cloud, the idea that we're going to be able to buy, a local piece of hardware that's going to be a beast of a machine and probably do 4K 60, or we're going to be able to buy a streaming device as low as $150 that's going to let us stream games via their Azure cloud network that they're setting up and putting into place, and probably going to be ready by 2020. Obviously, the talk of the town. So clearly, developers are going to weigh in on this, and that's exactly what we did. And the funny thing is we get a developer who's talking just like how I sounded when I was talking about some of my thoughts on the subject, which were that Microsoft wasn't really going after Sony as much as they were preemptively going after places like Google and Amazon. And that's where this video comes into play, because Microsoft, realistically, and I've said this for a long time and I know people don't believe it, Microsoft doesn't view Sony as competition. They don't view Nintendo as competition. They view those people as partners, right? Those are partners from Microsoft. Whether they're using Simply Gone, which Microsoft owns, whether they're using Azure, which Microsoft owns, whether they're using, playing Minecraft, which Microsoft owns. Microsoft looks at them as partners, and I think that's the key element to all of this, and I think that that's something that a lot of people don't take for granted in it going forward into the future of gaming. And so what we're going to see Microsoft actually compete with is the cloud services that both Google and Amazon have and offer. That's what Microsoft is competing with, and I think that's what people need to realize when they go forward and they think of the competition that Microsoft views, right? So we know that it looks like Google's getting into some kind of cloud streaming, and we know that Amazon potentially could get into cloud streaming, and they have developers. So that's what Microsoft is trying to compete with, not Microsoft. And I think that the fact that, have you guys ever seen the movie Tombstone, right? Great movie from the early 90s, Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, things like that. Val Kilmer did a great job in it. Billy Bob Thornton has a small role in it, and Billy Bob Thornton's going after he's going after someone, Wyatt Earp, and then Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday just goes up and acts like he's not even there, right? He just goes up to Wyatt and he's just talking to him. They're carrying on this conversation, and he looks and he turns to Billy Bob Thornton, Val Kilmer does, as Wyatt Earp, and he goes, I forgot you were there, right? Just put down your gun and go on. Just like basically that's Microsoft as Val Kilmer, and obviously the Billy Bob Thornton angle would be Sony, right? They don't even care that they're there. And this developer is pretty much agreeing with that sentiment, that Microsoft is so far ahead of Sony that it's not even funny. They're not even on the same level. Microsoft is not worried about Sony because Sony doesn't have the infrastructure for cloud that Microsoft has. And that is where Microsoft is putting all their bets, all their money. And I think that is what Sony doesn't have the ability to do, and that's what's going to be, I think, the difference going ahead in the future here. So it's going to be interesting to say. With that being said, this developer says that it doesn't look good for Sony if you're just going off of what Microsoft's going to be able to offer. I said this on BGST. I said, you know what? If Sony's just going more traditional and they're like, well, we've sold 35 million PS5s. Microsoft at that point next gen might be going, we've reached, 1 billion gamers. Like, which one's better? I don't know. I know which one's better from a business standpoint for sure. And is really setting Microsoft up for a big, big lead. And it's going to make for some interesting console wars next gen, I can tell you that. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.